Hey everyone, Carlos Espinoza. Welcome to another Tech Tuesday. Today we are going to put a hole in that tire with this pin, and we're going to fix it with all the stuff that's in here. So let's get to it. These are the tire levers that we're going to use today. They snap together, made by Pedro's, pretty strong. You can see they've been used a little bit or a lot, but that's what they look like. And here's the patch kit. It's a glueless patch kit, meaning the glue's already on there, so it's not an extra step. If you open it up, you've got your buffing sandpaper. On the bottom, it looks like there's instructions, and these are all your patches. Well, that's a nice little kit to have for emergencies. And this is our portable bike pump. It's got a pressure gauge right there. This all kind of attaches, comes apart. It's small. You're going to use a lot of pumps relative to something that you have inside your shop or at home, but it's small, it's relatively lightweight, and it'll make the difference between you walking home or riding home. To show you that it's got air in it, we squeeze down nice and hard. That's holding air. And let's put a hole in this thing. I thought it'd be a little ironic to use a little bike pin to do this. So there we go. Let's listen to it. No, I broke the pin. Well, it definitely went in. And I'm not going to do it again, but there we go. Pinhole. Now time to fix it. Okay, we have our bike flipped over. We're going to make sure we can get the wheel out. And we need to undo the front brakes. Right here, they're closed. We want to open them up so that the wheel will pop out easily. Now we loosen up the quick release. Now the wheel should come. Oh, all right, how about now? Now the wheel should come right up. We've got our wheel off. Now we need to take the tire, well, half the tire off, so we can get the tube out so we can repair it. You are going to grab your two handy dandy, you can do it with one, but it's a lot easier with two, tire levers. See that? It's got a nice little scoop bit, and on this side right here is to hold on to the spoke. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. So take your valve cap off, put that in your pocket. And you kind of want to start away from the valve. It just makes life a little bit easier. So you grab this, and you see a little scoop like that. We're going to scoop this way and grab that tire bead from the inside. So just like that, right? But we want to do that twice. One over here and one over there. So you're going to get those in, and you're going to push down. All right. And that's one. So remember I said this is a little spoke hook. You can do that, and it's going to stay put. You can pull on it, and it's not going to do anything, so it looks good. Now we've created a little bit of a pocket right here what I like to do is take this. So first you were going like this, right? But now, to get this bead out of the rim, we're going to flip this around. We're going to put this in just like that. And then we're going to slide it all the way around. And that should bring your tire bead off. So before we're scooping like that, now we're going opposite, okay? So get that in right under there. And you're just going to slide that over. It's going to pop out a little bit, but it helps to get the whole bead off. And now you've got this whole thing outside of the metal rim of here. Now you can get to the tube. So what I like to do is start at the valve when you're pulling the tube out. Bring that up and over. And you should be able to just pull the valve out. And now, pull it down. Now your tube comes out. All right, now let's switch it around to see how to locate the hole. Now you've got your tube, and what you want to do is use this area of your face, your mouth, your lips, after you've pumped up enough air in the tire to make it leak a little bit. You're going to use your lips because they're super sensitive. They can sense like real light puffs of air. That's my favorite way to find the leak. Now, you don't want to rub it on your face, you just want to move it close to your face. So, about that close, and you should be able to find the leak as it passes across. There's two sides of it, so you're going to have to run both sides or up top to find the leak. So it takes a little bit of time, but that's a really great way. If you're at home, you can dunk it in a bucket of water, in the sink, bathtub. Don't use your toilet because that's gross. But any kind of water where you can immerse kind of the bottom end of the tube and just kind of rotate it around, that's way faster. But, you know, I don't have any of those things around me right now. I mean, I do, but I don't. So let's get to it. So if you think you feel something, just kind of go back and rotate the tube and you might find it. You might get some false positive by you breathing, and the breath of your nose or the air coming out of your nose might bounce off the tube, but you know, you just go back and forth. I kind of hold my breath a little bit. And I feel something on my left hand, so I think it's over there. And there it is, I feel it. It's a tiny little puff, but I have located the hole. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's right here in between my thumbs. Maybe the reflection will show it, maybe not, but it's right there. So we're ready to use our handy dandy kit. Grab your buffing sandpaper, don't lose that. You want to tear off a patch. And that's what the patch looks like. It's pretty sweet, glueless. Right here on the bottom you can see that it's a square with rounded edges glued to a square piece of paper. And you want to get that ready for your repair. And I lost it again, so there's my hole. And what you want to remember is that you want to, this is how big your patch is, so you want to buff an area that's a little bit bigger than the patch so that the patch can stick well. If the patch sticks to this right here, it's going to come up. So that's why you want to do something bigger so that the patch sticks and you don't have to deal with this until you can get a new tube. Or not for a long time. So I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of a reflection, right? It's real matte, but we want to get this down to a matte finish so that there's no reflection. And you're gonna brush the surface in two directions. First, I like to do kind of like a cross hatch, right? That gives the patch the most surface area to stick to. So we're gonna start to buff it. So see how it's turning white? You want to keep going until it gets to like a matte black. Remember, we want to buff an area larger than the hole, or the patch. And whatever you do, don't touch that buffed area if you can avoid it, because your hands have oil and grease and whatever else is on there, and that's just going to contaminate the area, and it's going to make it a lot harder for the patch to stick on. So I'm going to start going the other direction. So you can see the difference in color. Here's tube untreated. It's kind of shiny. Here's the white bit. And then we're starting to see a flat black right there. So we're getting there. This does take time, so make sure you take the time to do it right. Otherwise you have to do it again, and you've wasted all this time and effort. I'm doing it with a little bit of air in the tube. It's just making it a little bit easier. So let's grab our patch and see. We're not going to take it off yet, but we want to see how our area is doing. I'm trying to look for the hole. I think it's right about there. So it looks like we're good to the left of my finger and to the right of my finger. Below is okay. I'm not super satisfied with up top, so I'm going to give it a little bit more. Okay, I think that's good. So now we're going to prep our patch. Again, don't touch this area. And don't touch the bottom of your patch, or as little as possible. So we're going to peel this up just a tiny bit. See, there's our patch kind of coming up. And I'm going to grab it with just the edge of my finger. And that's going to stick there, right? So now, locate your hole and see if you can get your patch so that the hole is right in the center of the patch. That's going to give you the best repair possible. And gently put it down. And now, so you see that left all my finger oils, etc. But it's right on the edge, so we're good. So significant majority of the patch is still nice and clean. So you're going to start from the middle and work your way out. And if you can see, this is nice and dark, and this is kind of light. So you want to get the whole patch to look dark like that. That means that the patch is sticking to the rubber that you've just scuffed up. This will hold for a little bit, but we want to make this patch as permanent as possible so that we don't have to come back and fix it again. The other thing too is you're starting from the middle and going out, so that any kind of air bubbles when you first put the patch on, you're going to get those out and not bring them down to the patch, because what could happen is that air pocket might allow air to start to develop and the patch will start to separate from the tube. So do it once, do it right. And if you do this right, this patch will last a really long time. So now it looks like everything's pretty even. Down here might need a little bit. Now the patch is uniform in a dark color. That means the patch is nice and stuck. I don't feel anything. So now we're ready to put the tube back into the wheel. Okay. Where is the valve hole? So locate the valve hole, which is right here. And that's where I'm going to start. So what I'm going to do is peel the tire back like that. So now I can see straight down into the valve hole. And I'm going to take the valve, slide the valve right into there, and kind of tuck the tube, or bring that tire up and over the tube. And now, because it's got a little bit of air, I can just kind of shove it into the tire, and it's going to hold its shape. Now I don't have to worry about twisting. Might have a little too much air. We're going to find out. Okay, so the last thing you want to do yourself a favor and make sure that your valve is pointed as straight down as possible, not angled like that. Now's the time to fix it. Okay, now we're going to put the tire into the tire bead. So this is what I call the tire bead. It's that lower part. We're going to put this tire bead into the rim and then pump up the tire. So that's where these are going to come in handy, but sometimes you can do it just by hand. Let's see what we can do. So first, again, start away from the valve. The valve's down here. I'm starting over here. get the bead to go inside the wheel like that, right? And you're going to have one hand out here and then your other hand, so this is going to stay put. You're not going to move that. This is going to prevent this from moving around on you. Get your hand and just work it all the way over. Once you get close, you can kind of rotate everything. And now I'm bringing this way. Again, my left hand is not moving. And this is bringing that bead in there. So I'll show you what happens if you don't put your hand here. Is you can see that every time I bring this in, a little bit comes out. And it's kind of like you're chasing your tail a little bit. Once you get to the last bit, you're going to take your lever, and just like we did, we're going to put it in, not to scoop, but to the other way, right? I'm going to put it in right here. And just slide it up underneath, and you're going to want to feel for the rim. Once you've got that, you're going to lift up. And it got most of it, but a little bit more, and there we go. Now you're ready to put air in it. Now you're going to grab your pump, and we are going to attach the pump. And remember, this is not universal. Sometimes up is locked, sometimes down is locked. So it feels like up is locked. So we're going to unlock it. Get that onto the valve all the way. It's not moving anymore. Hold it firm. And flip that up. And now we can start to pump this up. Holding this camera, or having this camera, is pretty challenging, so let's point you down a little bit. It should be good. So we're going to look right here is the pressure gauge. So let's get it up to about 30. This pump has a nice little foot bit. These small pumps, you can see that we're starting to build up pressure. These small pumps don't move a lot of air, so it takes a while to get up to the pressure that you want. But they're small, they're light, they're compact, so they will do the job. Just gonna take a little bit of time. So we're getting there. And there you can see it's right above the 30. That's enough to get us home. I'm going to flip that lever down. And now we're going to gently move this straight off. And the valve cap that you put in your pocket, you're going to bring that out, put that there, and that's it. Holding air should be good. You can ride for as long as you want and not have to worry about your patch coming off because you did it right. If you're really concerned, you can purchase a new tube and replace the tube, but like I said, the patch is going to be nice and strong and it will last as long as the tube will if you did it right. Anyways, that's it. Put it back on your bike and we'll get it going. Thanks for watching. So that does it for this Tech Tuesday. Hopefully this was helpful for you. If you've got any questions or topics that you want covered, let me know. There's a link in the description. Submit it and we will cover it. Other than that, have a great week and we'll see you next week. All right.